Hey, we're back with BTV live coming to you from AFC, American Fighting Concepts. So everybody knows by now we've been open now since, I don't know, about 3 months because we were shut down completely for 3 months. Then we were open for pro fighters. Then a month later we were ready to, we could do amateur fighters. And then just about 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, I don't know, we were okayed by the health department to teach regular classes again. Of course, we're still following all social distancing guidelines. That means you got to come in with a mask. You have to have your temperature checked. We ask you questions, make sure you're not sick or you haven't been around anybody who has COVID, and where you travel to, things like that if we haven't seen you in a while. When you're in here, we have 6 feet of separation, so nobody can have close contact. The only people that have close contact is when you get into the ring, and then you have to wear a headgear. So if we have any close contact, if we show any self-defense techniques or anything like that, we're trying to stick to mostly kickboxing right now because of the COVID, but all depending on who's in the room, we might do some self-defense stuff, some grappling, things like that. But if we do that, we must wear a mask, okay? At all times, our instructors are wearing masks, except for now, because I'm the only one here. This is daytime, this is B time, this is the time when I train, so I got a good 12-round workout today, shadow boxing, bags, some work in the ring, did some kicking routines. So, just trying to stay alive, doing best I can to survive, so. 53, feeling great, man. So working hard, For those of you who don't know, I've been, working in civil service for 13 years now. So for 13 years, it took me that long to get like a regular day job where I get off at 3 o'clock, and that's why I can be here in the evenings on our new schedule, which is Monday through Thursday. 7 o'clock for kids on Monday and Wednesday, and Monday through Thursday, 8 o'clock for adults. Because of all this COVID stuff, I want to make sure all the regulations are being followed, and I'm the one responsible for it, so I want to make sure everything's done proper. I come here early, I deep clean the school, follow all the rules, and that's the only way we're going to make sure that we're still open and we're keeping people safe. So it took me a very long time, a lot of struggling when I was working upstate, driving. I was driving 2-3 hours each way to get to work for for 3 years, and more than 3 years. Then I came here, started working out here. So it's now 10 years working out here, and I finally had a job where I can go home at 3 o'clock. So the only time we close is because I get forced to stay at work, because that's part of being a civil servant. They tell you gotta stay. So if that happens, I always notify everybody on all social media, plus our app. Look up AFC Kickboxing MMA Self-Defense app. Our app, we update all the time. We update with the classes. If there's any closings, anything like that, anything important coming up, we will update the app. So also on our Facebook, we have my Facebook and also the school Facebook page. So we'll always keep you up to date. I'm not hard to find, but if you're coming here on a regular basis, I tell you to check those social media pages to make sure that I didn't get forced to stay at work. Because like I said, I can't substitute somebody else at this point because it's too much responsibility. So I will be the only one that's teaching when you come, for whether it's kids or adults, all right? So please, do your best to support our school. We worked really hard to keep the school open for all these years, and especially right now during this COVID, being shut down completely for 3 months with no students at all. And now we still have very limited space that we're allowed to, we're running at like 30% of what we normally do. So if you can, support the school, or you can come to classes. If you're from this school, keep coming. If you're not and you want to come and train with us, you're welcome to do that. Believe me, I don't try to steal you from other schools. It's not my thing. We'll try to help you out. I've probably been involved with most of the instructors that are out there that teach kickboxing these days, because I've been doing this a really long time. So if there's anything I can do to help anybody out there, my door is always open. We help fighters from many different schools from all over the state, the country, and worldwide as well. So if there's anything I can ever do to help you, just let me know. We'll set something up. We sit down, we'll work it out. work it out with your teacher, and we'll make things happen. It's completely up to you. There's things that people don't understand while fighting. Fighting, we all like to be part of a team. We have Team AFC, we have Team USA, but we know fighting is a one-on-one sport, man. So, I can't make you train. I can't make you. I can get up, fight for you. I could be here every day, but you have to be here every day. It's a commitment you have to make to yourself. If you want to be a great fighter, you want to be a good fighter, you got to train every day. It's just the most important thing. Train as hard as you can, train as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and get as much experience as you can. Go out there, fight as much as you can, man. If you want to be MMA, then, some people, they go the route of just doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments till they get really good. Then they start kickboxing, or vice versa. A lot of people do kickboxing and go to jiu-jitsu tournaments. That's all good, man. A lot of people come from wrestling backgrounds, and they add in submissions, add in kickboxing. Some people just like to train with boxing and jiu-jitsu, or boxing and wrestling. Whatever it is that makes you the best you can be. I always say, get really good at something, then learn more, add that to what you have, get really good at that, add more. You never stop learning, I've been training since wrestling for 40 years, kickboxing for 30 years. This school's been open for 24 years, so I've been doing this a really long time. It's not just my experience, but all the experience of all my fighters, Team USA, all the people I've coached, managed, trained, refereed, you name it. I've done everything in this sport, promoted some major events for television. Well, all I care about is the growth of the sport and the individuals, the athletes. I'm coming from a different perspective than a lot of people. A lot of people, their objective is profit. I just talked about that I have a really good job. So I want to thank who I work for. I work for Suffolk County Sheriff's Office. I want to thank them. It's completely separate from this. But you know what? Without that job, we wouldn't be sitting in this school today, okay? Because that school allowed me to work some overtime and make some extra money so I could basically rebuild this school and open it when we were allowed to open, okay? So listen, we can't fight forever. I had to go back to work. Eventually, I tell everybody, start working on a plan. What's your plan? How long do you plan on fighting for? What do you plan on doing after you're done fighting? Do you want to be an instructor somewhere? Do you want to have a school? It's really, everybody has their own different ideas. I've been fortunate enough, I kind of did it all. I fought at the top level, I promoted at the top level, I trained at the top level, and I got to coach Team USA all over the world. So did all that, and then there was a different time at that time why we were closed down, and almost closed down, because they made kickboxing illegal in New York for a while. So that's what forced me to go back to work at the time, and it was basically a blessing in disguise, because it made me think about my future. That's when I started thinking, hey, there's no retirement in this fight game. No matter how much money you make in a fight, it's not going to be enough to retire. Even some of the biggest fighters you'll ever meet, they all have like a backup plan, or they're investing, they're doing things so they can have a future. Because it's, as they say, it's like a young man's sport. So you're not going to, even if you made a couple $1 million in MMA or boxing, and you retire young at like 30 years old, you're going to have to live off that $1 million for the rest of your life. And chances are that's not going to happen. So, if anybody ever wants to talk to me about management, I don't mean that I have to take over your management. I mean, ways that, how you should be helping the people who came up with you, how you can, how managers take a percentage of what you get, but they got to be doing something for you. It's got to be like a mutual agreement. A management contract really should be about, we're both committing to what we're going to do for each other. Usually the fighters end up messing up the contract more than the managers do. So unless there's big money involved, then sometimes that goes the other way. But on a local basis, guys who are trying to build their careers, most of the time that contract is to help the fighter. It's basically the school or the trainer or the manager. He's basically committing to help you, but you got to commit to the school too. So you got to train all the time. You got to pay your dues. If there's an event, you should show up at it. If it's some of your teammates are competing somewhere, you should be there supporting them, because when you compete, you're going to want them supporting you. You have to learn how to sell tickets, how to be a salesman. There's so many things that are involved with being a good fighter. But if you don't sell tickets, nobody cares. You could be the worst fighter on earth. You sell a lot of tickets, promoters are going to use you. If you're a great fighter that doesn't sell many tickets, they're going to maybe use you, and bring in a ticket seller to go against you, But, odds are in your own hometown, if you can't sell tickets, that's going to hurt you in your career. You need to be the show. It's show business. Fighting is show business. If you can't bring, pardon my French, but if you can't put asses in the seat, then you're not worth anything. And you need to be the show. You need to sell tickets. You need to produce money for the promoters so that way they want you, and all the promoters are competing to get you. You're the guy everybody wants to see. Not in your own head and your own delusions, but because you're the guy that's selling tickets, and it's going to be good for that show to put you on it, not because you're begging to get on it. Another thing I always say, I want to be on the big show. I fought on the big show. I'm like, I don't care what show you fought on. If you didn't win, it doesn't mean anything. You need to be the guy that is the show, and you need to keep winning. You need to beat big names. You need to fight against guys that are very competitive, that people know all over the place. You want to know how you get in the world rankings? You get really well known. Beat good people. Go out there and compete against the best of the best. I'm not saying right away, but if you're calling yourself this big champion that a lot of people like to call themselves, you better be beating some big names, or you're not as big a champion as you think you are. You need to go out there and compete. Win, lose, or draw. You need to compete against the best of the best. That's the only way you're going to become one of those guys. All right, so I'm going to get back to, now I got a deep cleaner school for tonight's session, so please, anybody want to come down, you're welcome to. It's $20 per session for anybody outside, or anybody who wants to come that can't afford the month. You want to pay $20 and come once a week for now until you get back on your feet. Listen, you're welcome. It's $20 a session or $100 a month, and that's unlimited. So AFC all the way. Tommy B out.